Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this DIY rainwater harvesting virtual workshop. And it's brought to you by Tarrant Regional Water District and the Tarrant County Master Gardeners and Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service. My name is Heather Bass, and I'm a conservation specialist with Tarrant Regional Water District. So I'm just going to explain to you a little bit how the video is going to go. First, you're going to see just a short message about TRWD, and then you're going to hear from Theresa Thomas, a Tarrant County Master Gardener, about all the theory and everything behind rainwater harvesting, some of the different ways you can use it, different types of cisterns, different types of barrels, things like that. Then you're going to see a parts list, and that parts list is for the DIY rainwater harvesting build. And so that parts list will also be available to you. I'm going to send it off in the email along with this video and everything. And so there'll be a handout with that parts list in it as well. And then, so after that, then you'll see Claire Alford, another Tarrant County Master Gardener, and she's going to explain to you all the different parts and how to assemble them and everything. And then you're going to see a team of Master Gardeners actually assemble and go through the full process of building the DIY barrel and everything. And so if you have any questions throughout it, you can email conservation at TRWD.com with any questions. And then also at the end of Theresa's presentation, she's going to just talk a little bit about some other resources for you. So thank you again for joining us, and I hope you enjoy.
The Tarrant County Master Gardener Association has partnered with the Tarrant Regional Water District to encourage water conservation. TRWD maintains 4 area lakes and pipelines needed to provide surface water to local water treatment plants so they can clean that water to meet drinking standards for our communities. They also work with many cities in Tarrant County, such as Fort Worth, Arlington, Mansfield, and many others, to provide water conservation programs to the community. Conservation is an important water supply strategy to help meet the needs of our growing population. There are currently 2.3 million people living in Tarrant County, and this is expected to double over the next 50 years. At SaveTarrantWater.com, you can sign up for free weekly watering advice custom to your location. If you're a resident of Tarrant County, you can sign up for a free sprinkler's checkup where a licensed irrigator comes to your home, provides a comprehensive evaluation of your system with recommendations to reduce water waste. There's also an event calendar where you can find information about future classes and workshops. So be sure and check out SaveTarrantWater.com to sign up for their free services.
My name is Theresa K. Thomas. I am a Tarrant County Master Gardener of the class of 2009. This is a Master Gardener presentation on rainwater harvesting, why and how to catch it, and what to do with it. Since we are growing leaps and bounds, I'm just going to show you how our development of our cities impact our water supply. The picture on the right shows an areas where there's not a lot of buildings, not a lot of concrete. It's more like farm area or ranch area where there's a lot of green spaces. 50% is absorbed in the soil, 10% is a runoff, and it runs off slowly to our streams. Over here on your right, 15% absorbs, mainly because there's very few green spaces. This is a hard surface. This is like your sidewalks, your parking lots. 55% runs off into our sewers and onto our land, and it erodes the land. It runs off really fast because it can cause a lot of damage. This runoff has fertilizer, pesticides, pet waste, toxic chemicals or contamination. It could have debris. This will run off into our sewers. That goes into our creeks and our streams and our lakes. It can cause the loss of our fish and anything that lives in that water. So that's one reason why we talk about water catchments. Why and where? Why use rainwater? Rainwater is the largest source of non-contaminated water in the urban areas. We use it for our irrigation, 35 to 75% each year. We can water our foundations, we can do rainwater gardens, we can do bird baths, livestock, wildlife. In areas where they cannot get water from a city supply, they use it in firefighting. They have tanks set up where they collect rainwater. Rainwater harvesting is the most simplest way to capture water, divert the water, and store so it can be used in the future. It works in our greenhouses, our water gardens. This is a cute picture of donkeys. They are being fed with a trough. It works like a commode. The water, as the water goes down, this float in here will add water. It's hooked up to some kind of system. I see rain barrels in the background here, and hopefully that's providing the necessary needs for water. As I said before, the most useful rainwater is landscaping irrigation. In the early 20s, when we were having a heavy drought in the 2011 and 2012, it became evident that we needed to educate people how to store rainwater so that we could have our surface water for the future. Some of the ways you can store water are large, heavy tanks. They can be made out of fiberglass, wood, concrete, metal. They can be located above ground or underground. This is a home that has a tin or a metal water tank. You have to have some gutters. They've hooked it up to the downspout and they've supplied the water in and out. Rain barrels are very, very good to be used in our homes or where you don't need a lot of water. This is one hooked up to your garden shed, hooked up to the gutter, to the downspout. It goes into the tank. Then you see here, right here, there is a faucet. They have it hooked up to a line that goes to your beds. You have to elevate rain barrels if you want a good flow of water. And this is what they've done. This is a large building with two large tanks. If you look at the roof, it's oval. It has a lot of surface area where it can run off, and it'll run off fast and fill up your tanks fast. This is your typical with the steep roof in our homes, and this is a greenhouse, and it's hooked up to your water tank. This is also probably on some acreage where they can use this. They've built two water tanks, connected them, have that roof on there so that they can get the runoff they need and use it for whatever purpose they need. The key to figuring how much rainwater to collect is based on 0.6 gallons of water per square feet per 1 inch of rain. So if you have 1,000 square foot roof times 1, you're going to get 600 gallons. 2,000, you're going to get 1,200 gallons. picture on the left is tanks that are used by a school. These are 2,500 poly tanks. They will be used to water their prairie gardens. This is a native center in Austin. These are galvanized tanks. They will be used to water irrigation. The dry line is just from the roof down the spout over to the tank. This is a wet line. The roof, the downspout, they have a connecting pipe. It can be underground or above ground, and then it goes up into the tank. This is an example of a girl hooking up a rain barrel. She's got her downspout. She's cut it off so she can hook up a flexible hose that she can get her rain water that you can use. And they've got a hole here, and this is where their piping or their downspout will go. If you worry about mosquitoes, you can use these ducts. They work well. They're not harmful to the water or your plants or your wildlife or your pets. If you worry about your water as it stands and stores, about a smell or anything, you can put a little bleach in your water, a third or a fourth cup in the water, and it won't hurt it at all. Maintenance. You need to do maintenance ever so often. Set up a time you go out there and you clean your gutters and your downspouts. You get rid of the debris and the leaves. The easy thing to do is add water and just flush it out. If you have a filter basket, it gets filled with leaves. You need to clean that. If you have a irrigation that you've got set up to your rain barrel or your rain tanks, you need to go and clean the filter on that. And this applies to even your large rain tanks as well as your rain barrels. You can have some fun with your barrels. They do all kinds of things. I mean, you can close them, you can paint them. These are some just great examples of how you can do it. Just love these. The Master Gardeners had a rain barrel contest in 2009, and you can just look at this and see what kind of talent's out there. So go out there and use your talent, or if you have a granddaughter, or if you have, a friend, have them paint your barrel. They need to stay dark. Rain barrels come in white or a color. The whites need to be painted so it won't absorb as much sun, and that can cause some algae in there sometimes if it gets too much sun. So that's why we recommend you paint your rain barrels. You use food grade rain barrels. You do not use anything that has any chemicals in it at all. If you was to go purchase a blue or white rain barrel. These are just some little novelties for catchment. This is just someone that enjoys fish. They add it to their downspout at home. These are rain chains. You can buy them. You can make them. We've made the one on the right here before. This is just another way to catch rain. You can put it over a potted plant. You can put it over a flower bed. Rain gardens are very good for runoff. This is in a home, and all they've done is take an area on a slope where this water just runs from the house probably to the street. They've dug up a shallow area. It's usually 12 or 18 inches deep. They filled it with rock or gravel. They put back soil. Now, if you have our black clay soil, I would buy soil at a material company and put in. You need lots of compost. 75% should be compost, I think. And then you top it off with mulch. What this does, it causes the water to run down from this building and run into the rain garden. That absorbs it, it catches it, and it spreads it out to your lawn. And also, you've got a new flower bed. You plant plants that like their feet wet. I have used caladiums. I have used lantana, Turk's cap. I have a wonderful big lily that's been there for a long time. It's a fun thing to do, so you might want to look into it, go to the website, and check it out. This is where they've done it in an island. They planted a tree and they've got grasses, and it's just another way they're preserving water. Incentives. Our goal as conservation is to preserve our surface water for the future. It costs money to build new lakes, billions and billions of dollars, and put in pipelines. So we can catch that rainwater. We can use it. It saves on your water bill. And we're protecting our water sources. We're helping with erosion to our lands. So think about getting some type of system of storage and put it in an area where you have water needs. These are some resources. This information has been researched by the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. This is their website, the rainharvesting.tamu.edu. Has tons of information on there. It'll help you with calculations. It'll help you with getting supplies. It'll help you with tanks. It gives you somebody to call if you need help. The Tarrant County Master Gardeners Association, this is our website. We have a helpline that's open Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 4:30. Give them a call. Email the Tarrant Master Gardener Association. That's their email there. So go and enjoy and think about building a rainwater system for your area. Dottie Woodson mentioned something the other day, just an easy thing to do. You don't want, this just gives you a little bit of information, but you need to go to a website, A&M website, and do official calculations. But she said, go home, read your meter, go in and do everything you would do with water, like brushing your teeth, filling up your pool, watering your yard. Do it all in a 24-hour period. Go back out there and read that meter again and subtract the difference, and that kind of gives you just an estimate of how much water you're going to use in a day. Then take that information and do some research. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much from Theresa. She just talked about all of the theory and everything behind rainwater harvesting. And so now we're going to see a rainwater build, a DIY rainwater build. And so this is the parts list for everything that you're going to need in order to build your own barrel. And again, I'm going to provide a handout with this video that will also have this parts list in it. So you're welcome to screen capture this now, or you can just wait for that handout. And so now you're going to see Claire from the Tarrant County Master Gardeners talk about all the different parts and everything and how they're assembled, and then you're going to see a demonstration of a barrel being built. So thank you again so much for joining us.
So today we're going to prepare our rain barrels, and you'll get your hole saw and your drill ready, attach your pieces. I try to have 2 or more drills available because remember, you're making 2 holes. You've got your 4-inch hole and your smaller one for your connection for your faucet piece. So I would go ahead and prepare both of my drills, have them ready for when I go out to drill the hole. Now, one of mine is electric and the other is battery operated, but again, you've got your saws ready to go for your project. Now that our holes are drilled, we're ready to attach the bulkhead. So I've got my packets over here. I'm going to grab one of the bulkheads out. And our bulkheads are pretty interesting because we normally think of everything in right and left, and it works just the opposite. So to unscrew it, I actually have to go right, and when I'm going to screw it in there, I will be going left. It is a plumbing situation because once you've got it in there and you're tightening it onto your barrel, your faucet then goes in righty-tighty. But I've got my bulkhead here, so let's see. To get it in the barrel, we actually do need to have of course I'm doing that, I was tightening it instead of taking it off. You're actually going to take your yardstick, a piece of your sticky tape of some sort, and this one is just a silver. I attach it onto so that I'm attaching it backwards. Did y'all see that first? I actually put it on, just a tiny bit of it on, and then I wrapped it backwards so that my stickiness is to the outside. And rip that off. I'll attach my inner piece with the, all of them come with a gasket. So leave that in there for sealing purposes. And now it's ready to go down in the barrel, through the hole, and have your attachment added onto the outside. Once you've got that attached and in place, you're ready for your faucet, and you're going to need your silicone tape, your plumber's tape. And Dick, you want to wrap this one because I know there's a way of whether you're wrapping it to the right or to the left so that it holds in place into your bung. And what was that again? He always remembers.
Well, it's going in, threads are going that way.
So the threads are being turned to the right.
So it would go.
Do I wrap it the other way? Is that what? Wrap it the opposite way that your threads are, so that when you're threading it, it doesn't unwrap the tape.
Yeah, you want to wrap it so that when it goes in, the tape will be running that way. Okay?
Okay. So I'm wrapping it this direction then.
Right.
And am I pulling it very tight when I do it?
It helps to pull it tight, just to
Okay.
get it in the threads.
Works great with 2 people because I'm just spooling it.
You need 2 people. That ought to be enough.
Okay.
Okay.
And it just snaps off of there.
And that way when you're doing it, because we wrapped it that way, it should otherwise it'd bunch up on you.
And then you do not have it totally covered when you've got it in your bung, in place in the bung. So it is now ready to be installed. So our barrel is now totally ready for screening, our last part of putting the barrel together. So you're screening out of your bag, you'll get some silicone, and I do like the spreader. It's kind of like icing a cake. So you're going to first take your silicone, put a nice size bead around the hole, the 4-inch hole at the top there, lay your screen down on top, and then you will truly just press your silicone through that screen. Now I've seen it done both ways. So if you're comfortable laying your screen down and putting your silicone on top, you're still pressing it all the way through so that it's connecting your screen to your barrel top.
You just back it up just a tad, just a bit, so I could see the bottom part a little bit more. A little bit more. Right. Super. Thank you.
It came off. Can you get it back on? No, you can hold it. Once you put that on partway, you put your thumb in there and you'll be able to hold it.
Oh, okay, good.
Good to know.
That's a secret.
Okay, so that was the DIY water harvesting barrel building demonstration from the Tarrant County Master Gardeners. And then you also heard about all the theory behind rainwater harvesting and everything. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, if you have any questions, you can go to those resources that Theresa talked about, or you're welcome to email us at conservation@trwd.com. You can also go to savetarrantwater.com to look at some other resources, and you can check out our events calendar that has other things like this in the future. And then if you want to hear more about those events and other gardening information in North Texas, other water conservation information, native plant information, and things like that, monthly to your inbox, you can sign up for our newsletter, the Save Tarrant Water monthly drop, and you can do that also on savetarrantwater.com. So again, thank you so much for joining us for DIY rainwater harvesting. Have a great day.